I'm your host, Claudia Catania, and you're listening to Playing on Air, the nation's only radio show and podcast dedicated to contemporary short plays. Today's episode features a single short called Cell. It's by Cassandra Medley, whose acclaimed plays also include American Slavery Project and Daughter. Cell is directed by Victor Lirio, who directed Sweet Spice Sondheim at Lincoln Center, among many others. Cell's cast includes Tonya Pinkins, a Tony Award winner for Jelly's Last Jam, who starred on Broadway in Play On, Merrily We Roll Along, and as the title character in Caroline or Change. And you can subscribe to our podcast to hear her in Poof by Lynn Nottage and in Forward Observer by Willie Holtzman. Cell also features Melanie Nicholls-King from The Wire and Rookie Blue, and Condola Rashad, a Tony nominee for A Doll's House Part 2, The Trip to Bountiful, and Stickfly. And now, Cell. It is early evening in the summer of 2011. We see the living room inside Renee's mobile home in Flint, Michigan.
Breaking news. This me reporting.
Honey, put down Auntie's cell phone. Stop taping. You wasting the battery.
Here we are back at home after our first day on the job.
Daughter, honey. Baby, that's enough now. That's your auntie.
Just want to show us coming home after our first day at work.
Welcome to my home, family.
A chocolate cake, Mama Lynn.
Oh, sis, look at you. Sneaking in a cake.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
sis, ain't you so sweet? You didn't have to.
Breaking news. Auntie done surprised us with a cake to welcome us and celebrate our first day on the job.
Girl, I said leave Auntie's cell phone alone. My big sis is the very, very best.
Girl, get out of here with all that. Family is family.
Auntie, your trail is so nice.
It's a roof over my head.
Don't want to crowd you. If you ever need, complete privacy, Gwen and me, we can go to the mall for a few hours.
Let's get the blankets out before we too tired.
Tonight, I'll take the corner. Gwen, you sleep on the love seat.
Mama, you need the love seat for your back. Corner's fine with me.
We are not here to freeload off your aunt. I want us serving her every chance we get. Understand?
Of course, I understand.
Relax, Cerise. This is not no boot camp.
Sis, I'm making us some meatballs and spaghetti for tonight. You got bath salts? Gwen, go in the bathroom, find bath salts, make a hot tub for your aunt. All the standing she do on her feet.
Well, nah, you two gonna be standing long hours.
And proud of it, too. So thankful you done got us jobs.
Breaking news. Here's my new badge that I wear on my new job.
Give me that phone. I told you to stop all that filming.
Oh, give her a break, let alone.
All the damn badge say is Thurston Corporation.
Breaking news. I now work for Thurston Corporation Immigration Detention Center.
It's the first real job she's ever had. It's nothing wrong with being proud.
Renee, what can I get you? As I recall, you like great big glasses of ice-cold lemonade filled to the brim with ice.
You want to pour me a gin and tonic, that'd be great. Better still, hold the tonic. What you staring at? Baby says if you looking for Renee 10 years ago, you looking for a mirage.
Breaking news. How do I feel after my first day at Thurston Corporation? Great. I feel great. I never knew there were so many immigrants from so many places. And Mama's working there, too. Auntie's our supervisor. She done got us jobs.
Tell how you been promoted to the front desk right away.
Now that is something to crow about. Promoted to the front desk on the very first day. Sister, I am so glad I broke down and finally just...
Hello, what you think? I was gonna let you be sleeping on the streets back in Cleveland and starve to death?
Gwen, don't put that on camera.
Ma, all I put is happy stuff.
Sister, when my unemployment run out, I thought, hello, welfare. And then they come talking about, I don't meet the regulations. I said to that woman, so what we supposed to eat? Air? Don't tell me God's works aren't wondrous.
Remember now, always look sharp. Keep in mind that our kind is always on the radar with upper management.
Girl, ain't that the truth? They never want to give black folks a break.
Why should they? We gotta work twice as hard as anybody else. I say so be it. Builds character. Have no time for excuses. Hi, look here, Gwen.
Yes, Auntie?
I may be a supervisor, but I also got a supervisor. You know what I'm saying?
Leon Banks, we understand. Gwen understands. Daughter, never forget your auntie's taking a big risk in hiring us.
Never mind that.
Gwen, don't forget it.
Why should she forget it?
Least we come cheap for Thurston. Don't have to worry about no union workers or paying benefits.
Shh. Never mention that. Do you understand? Never. To nobody.
Of course, of course. This trailer ain't bugged, is it? You don't gotta worry about us, Renee. We your family.
Auntie?
What, baby?
All them folks that be in the waiting room, them foreigners, they trying to get to their families locked up inside, right?
Never you mind. Just do your job.
Niece, what are your front desk responsibilities?
Watch the front desk on the shift I'm giving. Make all foreigners, them that got families that they waiting to see inside.
Make them stay in line and in order.
Shh, sister. Let Gwen tell it.
Make them stay in the line and in order while they waiting to see their families inside.
Good. Very good.
Waiting room be so packed.
If they keep their seats like they should, they'll fit. Thing is, for you to keep order whenever you're assigned to the front desk.
That's right.
Otherwise, we'd have a madhouse.
A madhouse, that's exactly right.
Good. Remember now, Leon likes you. Took one look at you and said, front desk.
Ain't that something, Gwen? And he's the supervisor over your auntie.
Trouble is...
Trouble? What trouble?
Niecy, come here. Give me a hug. I'm not criticizing, all right?
What I do wrong?
After all, it's just your first day. I understand that.
What'd she do? She punched the right buttons on the computer, didn't she?
Niecy, I'm the visitor coming to the window. I want to see Maria Conchita Elena Gonzalez. Here's you. Step away from the window, please. Please step away from the window.
Oh, sister, Gwen got a booming voice when she want to use it. You just wait till you hear her booming. Gwen, remember now, you're seated behind plate glass.
Just look at my pretty niece, 23 years old, all grown up.
And she's ready to use that booming voice.
Okay, Gwen, I'm the visitor. What's the first thing you do?
Get the name, then check the computer screen to see if they got clearance to visit the resident.
Which, 9 times out of 10, they won't have. Or the person they want to see moved out.
Move to where?
Sister, I'm just so thankful I finally broke down and called you when I did.
Step away from the window. Wait your turn.
There you go. That's my niece. That's the spirit. Yeah.
Auntie, the people living behind the locked door, where they sent to when they moved out?
Is that our business? No, it is not.
Charisse, don't talk to her like that. What happens, baby, is that they get flown back into the wide world. Wherever they come from in the first place, that way we get to have our country to ourselves.
But
Look at you. My daughter doing a service for her country.
But what about all them waiting room families left behind?
It's complicated.
I'm not retarded.
Is that how you speak to your auntie? Okie dokie. Who's ready for spaghetti in about a half hour?
You people over there, step away from the window, wait your turn.
Terrific. Wonderful. That's the attitude. And if they don't want to be patient and start screaming and hollering or threatening, then what?
Press the button. Let the armed guards handle the situation.
Excellent. Remember, you're behind plate glass. You're protected.
Step away from the window. Wait your turn. Stand in line.
Yes! Sister and niece, welcome to my little hideaway.
Spaghetti coming up. Epsom salt soak for our tired feet, everybody.
Ooh, child. Ooh, let me get this bra off my body.
Sis, you already had 3 of them cocktails.
That's right. And gonna have at least 2 more. Watch me.
Breaking news. Day 2, second day at Thurston Corporation. How do I feel? Great.
Daughter, that's enough of you pretending to be on TV. Come on out here and be with us. Watch the real TV.
Sis, stop dogging her. Let her have her fun. She back in the room there just reading over the company handbook. Ha! Over and over.
Breaking news. Thurston Corporation head office is located way, way off in Houston, Texas. They got Thurston detention centers in 10 states.
Sister, I'm planning on saving up enough money so me and Gwen can get our own trailer and give you back your privacy.
What about staying here with me?
Renee, you done more than enough for me already.
Charisse, I thought you always wanted to go to community college. Use your savings for that.
Girl, that old pipe dream done gathered 10 years worth of dust.
Sister, you could take a criminal justice course over at Gilmore Community.
Mama,
Huh, baby?
company handbook say that Thurston Corporation be the 3rd largest private detention corporation in the nation.
Oh, Renee, my sweet, sweet sis. I'll tell you what I got. And it's thanks to you. A job. A job that'll go on and on and on. That's what I got. Long as there's foreigners getting caught without their papers, me and you and Gwen here, we won't never be laid off. Now, I call that way more real than taking some chance on some community college. Gwen, what you think about it, baby?
Ma, see the rooms they got pictured in the handbook? That can't be right. See? There's no jail bars on the windows on the front of the cells.
Gwen, Mama said for you to let that go. Rest your eyes and get some rest.
Who's ready for another slice of cake? Raise your hand.
Oh, sisters, sing pretty like you used to. Gwen, wait till you hear this. Sis, you ought to go back to church and sing in the choir like when we was coming up.
Oh, stop. And quit staring at me like you're cross-eyed. I'm just taking a sip.
Now, you remember my own tribulations with that.
Sister, there's drinking, and then there's drinking.
Gwen, come sit here. Renee, sing to us like you used to.
I said drop it. Guess what? Leon Banks is sweet on your girl.
What?
That's right. He thinks Gwen's cute. That's what it told me.
Gwen, you hear that? Leon, your supervisor?
He be staring at her all day long, especially with that little round behind she carrying round.
You ain't gotta marry the man. Just smile at him once in a while.
That's all. You 23.
About time somebody started circulating around. That's what happens with normal girls. Only natural.
Please, he's like 35 or something, and with that gut.
Oh, appearances are only skin deep.
Auntie, how come the pictures in the company handbook don't show how the real cells look in that place?
We talking about something important to your whole life. Who the hell cares about some damn pictures?
Leon's unmarried. Well, divorced.
And since you're starting fresh, he wouldn't have to know nothing about where you come from before.
He's clean living, well-mannered, strong in the Lord.
Well, I ain't.
Don't say that. Come Sunday, we going straight to some altar somewheres, getting down on our knees and thanking Jesus.
Niece, let him take you to the movies.
She certainly will. He won't be trying nothing.
Well, he ain't no dog like some of these running around here.
Reading the handbook, you never know that it was a mama-baby jail.
Sweetheart, they're not in no jail.
But
They're in a residence until they can be returned to their countries of origin.
baby cribs in the jail cells. What else can you call it?
Gwen, are you hired to judge? Is that your job description?
Looks kind of weird, I know, but that's only 'cause you're not used to it. Wait till you've been around a couple months. Remember, it's all supervised. We use government guidelines. You see how we have a little play yard for the kids?
That itty-bitty cement square is a yard for the kid.
Gwen, do you want your own children someday? Well,
Yeah, I guess so.
and a husband with a good job and a nice big house to live in? Answer.
Well, who don't want that?
Okay, then. Focus on that and leave the Department of Homeland Security in the hands of the Department of Homeland Security.
I'm just trying to teach myself what my job is.
Uh-huh. Well, one of the most important parts of the job is to let go when you get home at night. Let go of the day, and like your mama says, focus on your own life.
Hello?
And I certainly hope you won't be asking Leon none of this nonsense or anybody else on the job.
I know better than that.
Oh, she knows better than that.
I'm not dumb.
Of course not. You're like anybody else.
Okay, let's see the Oprah rerun for today.
All I'm saying is like, wow. I mean,
Oprah, y'all!
breaking news. On my job, I see foreigners that don't got no shower curtains for their showers.
Gwen, pop down that noise so we can hear the show. Oh, damn. Oprah just got on white women and they diets.
Oh, turn on Judge Brown. He usually got our folks fighting over something.
Oh, sister! Look at that hair on that gal's head.
She should be ashamed of herself being on TV representing black folks looking like Halloween.
Breaking news. I wonder what it feels like to have lights out just 'cause we say lights out. Have to eat whatever we give you, like it or not. You can't take your baby for a stroll. And you don't talk English, so you don't understand. And all the clanging all the time. And the howling, plus the baby's crying. And the disinfectant smell mixed in with dirty diapers. Families visit, but the immigrants be behind glass. They can't touch them, they can't hug them, nothing.
So much for us enjoying our show.
I go brush my teeth. Be all ready for tomorrow.
Niece.
You see that? You done upset your aunt. What'd I tell you about making sure to behave, huh?
No more handbook. I promise.
Niece, I got a slinky short silver nylon dress. Fit me 15 years ago. Still in style. You can wear it on your date.
Renee, sweet sister, what would we do without you?
Let's turn in. Got a full day tomorrow. Sweet dreams. Your mama sure enough loves that hot shower, don't she?
Mama, get out the shower so other people can use it.
Your mama's beat after working all day, but not you, huh?
Me? I could work 2-3 shifts in a row.
Bet you could.
Fixing us juicy burgers. You gonna love how I make them, Auntie.
How come you let go from that burger joint didn't work out back in Cleveland?
Orders coming so fast at them places. Customers start yelling. I really like living here in Michigan. Aunt Renee, how come you and Mama let 10 years go by without speaking?
Child, there's so much blood under the bridge between me and your mama. You don't want to dip a toe in it. Believe me.
You was always letting me snuggle on your lap. That's what I'll never forget. Aunt Renee,
What, baby?
how come I always been slower than the other girls my age?
Nonsense. Give me a hug. How could you be slower if you learning to speak Creole?
Huh?
Huh? Huh? Huh?
Ow, turn me loose.
I'm hearing you learning to speak French and Spanish. Guess you'll start up on Arab talk next week.
What's the matter? What?
You must think I'm a fool. You think I'm a fool?
What's wrong?
What we gonna do with you? You supposed to be our flesh and blood.
I'm doing everything just like you told me.
No. You going around speaking French and Spanish or patois or whatever the hell it is. That's what you doing.
I'm following orders just like you've told me.
You got orders to speak to cell number 293 or cell number 156?
What is all this? Renee, you let go, you hurting her.
Gwendolyn, don't you realize they got cameras all through that place? Think, Gwendolyn, think.
What is the matter with you, Renee?
Niece, everywhere you turn, there's a lens watching us, and them, breathe, swallow, watching us on the can.
Hold up. Leon told me Gwen is doing a terrific
Sure,
job.
till he caught sight of her on the camera, sneaking a chat with cell 293, that Haitian woman. She's holding her baby up to the bars on her cell so Gwen here can pat the baby's head. What? Yep. You know the one we had to put in isolation? We got a close-up of Gwen here. Tell her, Gwen.
Her name's Marie Louise.
It's not your job to know what her name is.
I was just saying hi.
You was stroking that Creole woman's baby's head. Tell her. And the Mexican? Gwen here is sharing her curry chicken leftovers with the Mexican. We got it on live on camera.
Daughter, you know that's way against regulations.
The baby may have a fever.
Doctor comes the second Friday of every month. She's been given a cold compress. Meanwhile, only reason she gonna get one more chance is cause Leon thinks you got a sweet behind. Otherwise, he'd have kicked you out this afternoon. He's got his own supervisor.
Me and Marie the same age, but she got a baby she gotta keep in jail.
When your new friend is put on the plane back to Haiti, guess you wanna go to the shanties too? Or with your Mexican back to the filthy hovels down there? See how well you enjoy it?
Okay. No need to be so rough. She won't do it no more. No need to climb the walls about it.
Word for me, you two wouldn't have no walls.
What you want? Huh? Me groveling on my knees in gratitude? Would that be enough?
Mama, don't. She's right. I was wrong. I apologize.
Girl, it gets to where these apologies ain't nothing but breathe in and breathe out.
Okay. I'm down on my knees. Is that good enough for you? Thank you, sister, for all your kindness.
Well, I'm sorry, but am I to always be the Red Cross for the rest of my natural life?
I ain't asked you for nothing in 10 years.
Right, and 10 years later, when you do call, it's cause you ain't even got one single rusty penny to your name.
At least I don't feed on bitterness because my dreams didn't work out.
Charisse, I'm not gonna end up on the unemployment line just cause your daughter's brains was marinated in moonshine.
What you mean, Aunt Renee? Mama, what
She don't mean nothing by that. Do you, Renee?
Niece, this ain't Never Never Land where life just gives me this trailer to live in cause God is good and Jesus Christ done had a second coming.
I won't do it no more, I promise.
She means it, Renee.
Gwen, sit. Sit here. We do not speak to them in the cells. We do not let them speak to us. It's for their own good. Do not fraternize. Never get the inmates' hope up. Chaos would break out. The rules are for the good of everybody. You think you helping your Creole and Mexican ladies by befriending them. You are not.
Yes, ma'am.
We do not find out about them. We do not let them find out about us. We do not answer their questions. We do not ask them questions. We do not get involved.
We do not get involved.
Hidden camera don't lie. And my home don't come free.
Yes, ma'am.
And as far as you concerned, don't want to hear no more Creole, no Mexican, no South American, no Arab, or nothing else coming out of your mouth.
I'm gonna be so much better tomorrow.
What in the
Where
world?
you been?
We looked all over for
Got
you.
scared half to death.
Hitched a ride with Leon.
What is that? What is? You ain't smoking no weed, are you?
Leon give this to me to
You put
calm
that-
my nerves.
You put that out, girl. I will knock you into next week.
Now look here, Gwen. It was nobody's fault.
Now that's Leon over and over. It was nobody's fault.
He's absolutely right. It probably had a special condition before the mama even came here.
It?
Don't you get all up in my face. You know what I'm trying to say.
Patrice. The baby's name was Patrice.
We all know that.
And now y'all got a tiny corpse on your hands. Yesterday, his little head felt so hot. Now his teeny body bundled up like a package. Little Patrice.
Whoa. Don't tell me you went in the morgue. The morgue is off limits.
Not if I let Leon cop a feel of my
I
booty,
would-
it ain't.
Therese, don't hit her.
I am your mother, and this is your aunt. You talk to us with respect.
Only acting like a normal girl, y'all. Hold up, I don't gotta act normal. I was marinated.
Renee, don't let her speak to me like that.
We realize it was hard for you to be put through all of this.
Me? Me? Hard for me? The mama's name is Marie Louise, and now her Patrice is sealed up in a white sack.
Oh, for heaven's sake. I got folks I have to deal with week after week, month after. I've been working Thurston for 27 years.
Marie Louise. Now put on a plane. In her lap, her baby's ashes.
Babies get sick sometimes without nobody knowing why it happens.
Thought they got cameras trained on everybody night and day.
Oh, I should never have talked myself into putting you on staff.
Now, don't say that, Renee.
I bet wrapped up dead babies is a regular thing in that place. One doctor twice a month. Get sick on the wrong day, tough.
The only thing regular is you not doing what you was told.
I've done exactly what you...
Surely you are not raising your voice to me.
Back off, girl. Back off.
Breaking news. Thurston Corporation is a bold-faced lie.
These foreigners, all right, it's sad, but they know the risk they take. When they take the risk of trying to come here and trying to stay without documentation, they know this. They break the law, and they want us to feel bad for them and take the blame.
No wonder you got insomnia.
Now, you can slant your snake eyes at me all you want, but this the real world, Gwen. Now, every time you put a piece of pie to your lips or curl up in your warm blanket at night, Thurston Corp is paying for it.
Or was. I'm fired, right? Right?
Depends.
Oh, you mean if I keep my mouth shut, I still got a job?
In all 50 states, the unemployed are overflowing in the streets.
Daughter, listen. You are a normal person. You hear me? And like any normal, everyday, ordinary person, you're gonna just go day to day and do what you gotta do to get by. She'll settle down after a while.
I know. I'll tell Leon to really romance her. Gifts, flowers, dinner. Y'all can't stay here without her income.
I know. I know. We understand. Gwen! Where you think you going with that backpack on your back?
Gotta be some joint in this town that'll need floors scrubbed in exchange for a meal. Maybe they'll let me sleep in a cellar. You faked my name on a witness form, didn't you?
This the first real job you had in your whole life, true or false?
You signed my name. Saying that yesterday, I felt no fever coming from off Marie's baby.
Damn straight I signed for you, and I volunteered to do it, too.
I should have screamed and hollered yesterday and got some help to come to that cell.
When will you finally begin to understand that it's your life or theirs, and no in between?
Auntie Renee knows what's best.
Gwendolyn, look here. Patrice, let me tell you about your little Patrice. He was born a bottom feeder, just like you.
Renee,
just
please.
like me and your mama and everybody in this broke down town and all the ton of nobodies that crowd up the bottom pit of this world. And there ain't no abracadabra that's gonna change that.
Gwen, where you think you going off to at this time of night?
Even a damn ghost town like this gotta have a Salvation Army.
Renee, what are you doing to her?
Okay, niece, you wanna go out into the big bad world, do you? Look out the window here. Look! You see how dark it is out there? See? Vacant lots. And everybody locked up inside their place. You see them pit bulls chained up over there? Bars on their windows, just like bars on my windows, to keep out the thugs. You see that van cruising by? They wolves on the prowl, licking their chops, with their fangs drooling, and out for prey. Oh, you'd be a sweet, tasty morsel.
You her auntie. Stop talking to her like
Go
that.
on, Gwen, go on out there.
No!
Go on, Gwen, go! Looking at me with that evil eye like that. Since I offend you so much, see if you make it to the end of that lamppost. Go!
Renee,
Get out!
Renee, please. She don't mean it.
Gonna have that dead baby in my dreams from now on.
Dreams go up in smoke eventually. Believe me.
My Aunt Renee. I thought you were my guardian angel.
Girl, you and your mama was in the Cleveland Greyhound with benches for a bed, and the stinky winos and the crack holes surrounding you. Who she call collect? Me. You want a damn happy ending, then take your butt to the movies.
I can't stand to look you in the face.
I know my life is less than dust. But do you hear me whining and complaining? No, you do not. Do you hear me blaming anybody or gnashing my teeth or wailing at God? God, how come you made me at the bottom of the heap? Nonsense. If I'm to be a grain of sand in this damn world, then I'm a grain of sand. This is how I must live, and so I live. I take it, and I take it, and I take it. That's right, and I'm gonna keep on taking it, keep on, and I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna keep it, and I'm gonna keep it. Don't you friggin' sister me, damn it! Gwendolyn, you turn on that TV.
I'll get it. I'll get it. Come on, Gwen. You sit by Mama. Come on.
Gwendolyn, if you open that front door, then you're out of here for good. You hear?
Please, baby girl. Come sit by Mama. There you go, baby.
Wait, so you get to hang out with the Yankees? That's awesome.
Desperate Housewives, yo.
Oh, he's fine. But all that stuff...
You just heard Cell by Cassandra Medley, directed by Victor Lirio and featuring Tonya Pinkins, Condola Rashad, and Melanie Nicholls-King. We thank Cheryl Wiesenfeld Productions for its kind support of Cell. For our discussion today, in addition to conversing with Cell's playwright Cassandra Medley, we have invited two guests with particular points of view. One is Cheryl Wiesenfeld, the force behind Cheryl Wiesenfeld Productions and a producer of Exonerated, In the Continuum, Caroline or Change, and All the Way. She is joined by Julia Preston of the Marshall Project. Ms. Preston is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist who has covered immigration issues for decades, including as an editor and foreign and national correspondent for the New York Times and the Washington Post. Welcome, Julia, Cheryl, and our playwright, Cassandra Medley. Let me ask Julia Preston, when did the outsourcing of undocumented detainees from nonprofit government facilities to private for-profit detention centers begin then? I mean, from your perspective, what are the advantages or the pitfalls of that decision?
Well, the industry really began to take shape in the 1980s, but it just surged in growth in the 90s and particularly in the last decade as illegal immigration surged in the country because of the limitations, particularly on labor. People coming to the country who wanted to work and for whom there were jobs available. There have been very limited legal channels for those people, especially from the Western Hemisphere. And so demand for immigration detention surged, and these companies, a couple of very large private companies, stepped into that breach to begin to manage and eventually create their own detention centers. And I think originally both the federal government and state and local governments thought that this was a way to save money because they were getting people off their payrolls. But as recently as last year, the federal Justice Department decided to entirely stop providing contracts to private companies for federal prisons, for example. The Obama administration decided to get out of the business of contracting with private companies for prison management because they determined that it wasn't less expensive, it wasn't safer, and they didn't provide the kinds of services to inmates that were better than what the federal government could provide. Trump administration came in and reversed that finding, and particularly in the immigration area, has been very rapidly expanding detention, arresting a lot more people, detaining a lot more people. And so it has become an even bigger business for these private companies under President Trump.
Wouldn't that encourage people to keep people detained longer? I mean, given that they make money on time, basically?
Under the Trump administration, there's no shortage of people being detained for immigration violations. And so the problem has not been that there isn't enough work for private companies to do, but the problem has been both the federal government and these private companies are scrambling to find places where they can put new detention beds. So this is definitely a growth industry. At this point, about 3/4 of the immigrants who are in detention are held in facilities that are run by private companies. And it's at least a $2 billion a year business. This is a huge business for these companies.
Cheryl Wiesenfeld, I know you were impressed and captivated by Cassandra's play. What aspect most attracted you?
I think I have to step back for a second about Cassandra's play and talk about the reason that I produce is to change people's lives. And the way that I've chosen to do that is through theater. And when I read your play, I was moved by the fact that not only were these personal stories about 3 women, interestingly enough, everything that we're going through now in terms of sexual harassment, you see it in the play, too, in terms of the relationships of the women. But the play itself is so multidimensional. And as soon as I read it, I said, this is a play that should be not only performed, but should be shown to people around the country in different situations so that we can really discuss and dialogue about what to do. It's the immigration part of it, the detention center part of it is so clear and so visceral. And seeing Gwen's change, from the beginning, her relatives have no respect for her, really. And then how she becomes evolved and politicized through this really short, at the end of it, through this short play, I said, where's the rest of it? It was just so impressive, and I thought, this is what theater should do. It's powerful. It should change people's lives. We should be able to see it dramatically, but we should show it at colleges. We should go to immigration centers. We should do whatever is necessary for people to hear your message so that we can change people's lives and hopefully get rid of detention centers. So,
Julia, how long can a prisoner be detained prior to a hearing?
The issue for these immigrants is they often don't know, and particularly immigrants in detention, the geography of these centers is that they are really very often placed in locations that are far removed from cities or even from the place where they were apprehended by the authorities. And it's very difficult for people who are in detention, immigrants in detention, to find lawyers. So the result of that is that they often have no control over their circumstances, and it's very difficult for them to understand what's going on in immigration court. So it can be not necessarily a long period of time, but even a month or 2 months or 3 months in a detention center when you don't know anything about what your future is and when you might be released, and when one of the outcomes is that you're going to be deported back to the country that you were trying to get away from. This can be a very difficult experience. And the other thing I wanted to mention about that comes up in the play is that particularly in the private detention centers, there have been repeated serial problems with medical care, with the medical attention. And a colleague of mine, Nina Bernstein, at the Times, wrote a terrible story in 2008 about a detention center in Rhode Island where an immigrant from China died of a fractured spine and multiple terminal cancers that were never diagnosed. And video showed that this man, she actually got a video showing that this man was literally crying in pain before he died. And since then, there have been other episodes, even as recently as last year, people die in these detention centers with illnesses that could easily have been treated, heart conditions, that kind of thing, because they don't get an adequate or a fast enough diagnosis. So this has been a kind of a chronic problem. There's not really any kind of consistent oversight of the private facilities.
Who is monitoring these detention centers for this kind of negligence?
Well, really, they have very little responsibility to be forthcoming with information. And, I mean, across the board, it's just tremendously difficult to get information in and out about the conditions in the facilities. It's very difficult for immigrants in detention to communicate with their families. In many cases, they have difficulties communicating with their lawyers. Really, the whole process of communication or visibility into what's going on is very limited, and there really isn't a clearly established line of command to some independent agency or some authority that would be monitoring what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And that's very much Gwen's quandary in this piece, because she is a pair of eyes and ears on the inside, so to speak, and she has to deal with her conscience on the one hand and her welfare for herself and for her family, which is the crux of your play to some degree, I would think.
She's a innocent. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't know anything. Mm-hmm. And that is wonderful for me as a writer, because she just takes in everything and is trying to figure it out. And in her innocence of just trying to get answers, not even really morally offended at first, just amazed, and then slowly offended. Yeah.
The fact that she is an innocent and that her mother and her aunt have been weighed down by the burden of life.
For me, they are fascinating in that I am so fascinated with how people adjust to the amoral situation. Mm-hmm. And feeling that you must survive, period.
So this private detention center is a literal lifeline for them. And I'm wondering, does that aspect of this situation ring true to you, Julia, in terms of the detainees in the real world?
Well, what definitely rings true is the situation where you have a private detention center of this sort being the major employer in a location. And you do see that quite frequently, particularly in the Southwest, where you have a place like Eloy, Arizona, or Gina, Louisiana, where these are rural towns that have struggled, failing agriculture or ranching that is, really at a poverty level. And then a big employer like this comes into town offering jobs. And what you find is that the residents are, in immigration detention, the residents are often kind of on the other side of a wall or the other side of a bar or a barbed wire fence from a population that isn't that dissimilar from them. And, this is particularly true in Arizona. You see this a lot, where you have Latinos who are, and Mexican Americans who are hired to work in these detention centers, and their families have come from Mexico with very similar histories to the ones of the people who are in detention. I think it's important to remember that the people who are in immigration detention are not in criminal proceedings. This is not a criminal proceeding. This is a civil proceeding. Many of these people have committed no criminal offense at all. They are there because They didn't have a legal document that brought them into the country, or their legal status in the country has come into question, and they're waiting for an immigration court or some federal authority to figure out whether they can stay or whether they have to leave. Often the situation of the people inside the detention center is not that different from the people who are outside. And I think that's an interesting aspect that comes out in this play.
Yeah, and wouldn't a lot of Americans argue that the fact that they are undocumented is a crime?
I think this is a common misperception. Many people have the mistaken impression that it's a crime to be undocumented in the United States. It's not, in fact. It's a civil violation. It is a crime to cross the border illegally, but being undocumented is not a crime. And in terms of committing a crime within the United States, the vast majority of people who are undocumented have no criminal record. All of this is important because of what you see in the play, which is a young mother with a baby who's in this detention situation and is being viewed as some kind of criminal or a real lawbreaker. But her offense is not a crime.
Mm-hmm. What really stimulated the play for me was I saw in my research, there's a photo of a cell in an immigration detention center with a crib in it. So you have the bars, you have this plank that the person's supposed to be sleeping on, you have the open toilet, and a crib. And I had to write something.
What I love is the illumination of what you've done, illuminating so that we can all see ourselves, that it's sort of a mirror in a sense. And one of the things, not that this show needs to be brought up in any way, but Hamilton, one of the things that was interesting about Hamilton, brilliant, great music, great story, but it's real. People didn't realize all those things about Alexander Hamilton or the country or the problems that we had gone to. So, I think theater does illuminate. And the fact that this play it works on a fictional level, but it works on a much deeper level, and it's so close to what we are experiencing today.
Cassandra Medley, playwright, for you, why is theater a medium that's particularly well-suited to exploring these kinds of complicated social and political issues like immigration reform?
Theater creates a shared space in real time. So you're sitting with the group, whomever you're sitting with, all around you, and everybody's taking in the experience. And when it works, it is so absolutely astonishing. And people are exchanging looks, between strangers are exchanging looks and comments. And you see partners and lovers holding hands and embracing each other because of the immediacy of the experience. I love going to the ladies' room in the intermission, because then you hear people, really, and if it's really working, people are in the story. Yeah. And they're trying to figure out what's going to happen next and this kind of, but it's the shared experience. It's the original open and collective storytelling experience that we know for at least 80,000 years, if not more.
And sometimes you can understand better emotionally and viscerally than you can in any other way. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the live actor in front of you is bringing you through this story.
And for listeners out there, Cheryl, who might be contemplating becoming a producer, what talent, what skill, what temperament would be of value?
For me, being a producer is about finding what you're trying to say and find the plays or the topics or the musicals that really speak to you, that combine with your inner voice, because that'll enable you to go out there and to get these things produced. You have to be passionate about what you do, but ultimately it's you yourself have to have something to say. Really no different, in a sense, than Cassandra, finding a topic that was important to her and then finding someone where that kind of marries together.
Well put. Julia, for listeners who are interested in learning more about privatized immigration detention centers and some of the other issues explored in Cassandra's play, what are some resources you would suggest to them?
The Detention Watch Network, they just published in December a quite comprehensive report about the conditions in private detention centers around the country. And also the Southern Poverty Law Center, also last year, did a very extensive and chillingly detailed report about immigration detention centers in the South. So those are two places to start.
Thank you. And Cassandra, could you say, in a nutshell, why you chose the title Cell?
It has the reference, of course, of a literal cell. Phonetically, it's wonderful. You just change the C to an S. And because I see the three characters in the play, in the first act, they are in a cell. I love the resonance of, and we are all in our various cells. I want to emphasize that. It is so critical that we wake up to this. And so whether your cell is a gilded cell, wherein you think that your privileges will not be taken away and are not endangered, you are quite mistaken. You have to look at history and so on. So, yes, detaining these people, the over there, the outsider, and as Reinhold Niebuhr says, and then they come for you.
Right.
So this inevitability of the way that we can be headed towards this autocratic system, we must be awake. We must watch vigilantly. And humanity, our humanity. It's so important. It's so critical to hold on to our humanity. And we can only do that, really, by connecting to others.
Thank you. You three have been splendid. Thank you, Julia Preston, Cheryl Wiesenfeld, and Cassandra Medley, the author of today's play, Cell. It's been a great pleasure. You've been listening to Playing on Air, Great American Short Plays with Great American Actors. Theme and play music by Tom Cochan. Recording by Paul Ruest at Argo Studios. Sound design by John Kilgore. Associate producer, Sasha Spitzer. Literary and development management, Lucy Fleming. Marketing and outreach, Bonnie Antosh. Distributed by PRX Public Radio Exchange. We invite you to visit our website at playingonair.org, where you can stream short plays and find information about our artists and plays. Join us on Facebook or Twitter and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. While you're there, leave us a review. We value your opinion. For Playing on Air, I'm your host, Claudia Catania. Thanks for listening.